I started a new Shopify e-commerce store recently with the goal of growing its sales as quick as possible. And you can see here 73K in the first 40 days. That's 100K US dollars. And you can see fast traffic as well, over 10K in the first 40 days. Now, how did I do that? How did I make those gains so quickly? A lot of people don't even make a sale in their first month. The reason is that I chose a red hot niche and then I executed AI strategies like a madman. So let's talk about the niche. How do you find one that's underserved and is ripe for you to come in and dominate with the right strategies? Let me show you the process right now using Chat GPT. Okay, so this is one of the niches GPT has suggested, and I absolutely love it. I can't wait to dive in further. How I produced this was I essentially used my prompt that we have in the 1% Ecom Club that allows me to find a long list of really, really good niche ideas to explore that tick all the boxes. They have the right high ticket value that are perfect for drop shipping. They have the right number of brands, etc. in the space. They're not overly branded. They're not completely unbranded. And also they serve a passion avatar that we can go really deep on. And the reason I love this one is there are so many high ticket products I can sell to one customer. When I sell to one customer over and over again, I reduce acquisition costs. I increase my profitability. I can bundle things together. It's a great space to be in. And also, there are so many high ticket products in this space. It's unbelievable. There's also a lot of people who are prosumers. So this is their whole hobby. They love making their own furniture. They will spend whatever they want on this hobby. And there's people who have small workshops. They sell their things. They have an Etsy store. So for them, it's a business expense. So they have a lot of purchasing power. These are the sorts of products I would be selling. I mean, these look absolutely perfect. Not too bad to ship, but really good price points. They look absolutely excellent. Same with the table saws. So what are we going to do from here to validate that this isn't just good on paper, but that actually the numbers point to it being brilliant? And that's something that we see a lot of problems with. We see people look at things and go, I think, I feel. Honestly, it doesn't really matter how you think or feel about a niche. It matters what the data says. And that's why we use AI in this way, okay? We are using the Data for SEO API. This is the data source behind the best SEO tools on the market, and we are going to call it to get it to validate this niche, okay? It's here in this custom GPT that you get as part of the 1% Ecom Club. And here's what I want to do. I want to get the long tail commercial keywords associated with these products. I would probably do it for all or most of these products. For now, I'm going to show you it for these three: woodworking machines, table saws, dust extraction. I want the really, really valuable long tail commercial keywords, the one where someone knows exactly what they want. They want a CNC woodworking machine with a use case, capacity, feature, functionality, brand, etc. Basically, someone who's ready to buy. So someone who wants a CNC machine for woodworking, or even better, as we get more specific, a custom one for wood carving or a 3D carving one. Okay, this is looking good. 3-axis CNC machine, 4-axis, automatic tool change, ATC, vacuum table. These are all absolute gold. These all represent someone who knows exactly what they want. They're searching for it, ready to buy. Same with the dimensions of the woodworking machines, heavy duty, large format. These are all perfect. These are the terms we want to get in front of and get them on our site so we can turn them into buyers because they are ready to buy. Same thing for the industrial table saws. People who want it for cabinet making, they want it to cut plywood, they need it to cut panels. All of these things represent really high buying intent. And I've got the same thing for dust extraction devices as well. Now, I've got some really nice SEO clusters that I can go after. That's great. But what I'm really interested in is seeing this. So this is the grading of the keywords in terms of the difficulty to rank a niche retail website. And I've given them a long list of ones that are really, really good in terms of pointing at a specific product that I would want to sell. Okay. And you can see it gives me a scoring system: easy, moderate, hard, very hard. And then it grades the niche. Okay. And you can see there's some of them I don't want to touch. Best CNC for woodworking. I'm not going to bother creating that piece of content or going after it. Really hard to get after. Same with best CNC wood carving machine. But where I am interested is things like CNC router for cabinet door manufacturing, for cabinet production again in here, for furniture. Okay, so there's a bit of a theme there. Same with 3-axis, 3D, 4-axis, automatic tool change. All of these are in that easy to moderate range, which implies that I can get after them really quickly, which is awesome. If we scroll down, we can see the same again. There's one or two that are hard when it comes to table saw, but we're seeing a lot of easy, a lot of moderate in spaces that are really commercial, and therefore they will lead to big money sales. And the same with dust extraction. So this is great to see. And this implies that we're going to see even more of this as we go through all of these products. And if we've got 10, 15, 20 golden commercial keywords that we can get after early for each of these, well, that is going to turn into a lot of sales very, very quickly. But there is something else that I need to validate before I dive in. Even though the niche looks great from a competition for keywords perspective, I also need to validate the competition for other retailers and the availability of high quality manufacturers. So I use Google Gemini in its deep research mode, and I ask it to basically canvas the whole market. And here's what it's going to do for me. It's going to identify who the major manufacturers are of the CNC woodworking machines, industrial table saws, and dust extraction machines. So basically, who are making the products that I want to sell in the USA between the right price points. They're then, for each of those manufacturers, going to verify that they're sold through third-party retailers, because that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be selling on their behalf. So if they only sell D2C, that's no good. Okay, so it's going to identify that. Then it's going to rank the most prominent brands so that I know who I'd want to go after. And it's going to look at, and it's going to do that, by the way, based on reviews, presence on tool platforms, market availability. And then it's going to essentially say, right, how many people, how many retail sites are currently selling these products in Google Shopping and in the ads marketplace? Okay, so essentially, how competitive is it with other competitors? Right, let's have a look. Okay, it's found a bunch. And so here we've got CNC woodworking machines, and you can see we've got some really good quality brands, and we can see a couple of ones. Okay, so ones are not good for us to see because that implies an exclusive relationship. So Stepcraft and Bantam, we're probably not going to be able to work with them. But the good news is that all the other brands that we see here, the other 80% or so, they're all working with multiple retailers. So we can get them on board as a supplier. We know they work in this way. And also the retailer count is low. For context, we like about 5 to 15 here. Anything sort of 20 upwards, and in the big niches, drones, e-bikes, saunas, etc., you will see 20, 30, 40, 50. When we're in the space of 5, 7, 10, that is absolutely perfect. And the reason for that is that the overall level is low. So we are going to be better than 90, maybe 95% of competitors, which means if there's under 10 in a space, for one retailer, we're probably going to be the very best. Now you can see here in industrial table stores, we've got a few, again, that are direct to consumer / only have one particular partner. So we're not gonna be able to work with them, but there are still plenty that are in the right range. That's really good to see. And then finally, for dust extraction, it seems that everyone sells through retailers with the exception of this one here, Shopfox. Lowe's and Amazon suggest they only sell with the big players. But outside of that, we can work with the others. And to be honest, it's looking really, really uncompetitive, which is great to see. So what I would be doing now is I would be diving headfirst into this niche. I'd be building a Shopify site. I've got videos, which I'll link below, on how to use AI to build a high quality site so you can get brand manufacturers on board and then go ahead and start ranking for those keywords and making big sales fast with a high potential niche.